a spectacular fall day within northeast Italy, especially amongst the tranquility of this forest. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Borders on Budgets. Don't let the peacefulness of this surrounding, though, fool you. On this episode, we will get a glimpse of life inside the trenches of the Eastern Front during World War I. These are the trenches of Hill 121 near Monfalcone, Italy. It was originally the Austro-Hungarians who excavated these lines of defense, and unlike the fabled trenches along Europe's Western Front that were dug out of earth and then later became quagmires of mud, this line of defense was carved out of stone. Once the Italians conquered Hill 121, it was they who reinforced these trenches with concrete, thus solidifying the underground structure. Naturally, a century ago, the trees, the plants, and the other foliage surrounding the trenches weren't here, thus leaving this area barren and exposed. The cave behind me would have served as additional protection. It is only during a limited period each day that this cave receives natural lighting. At first glimpse, I thought those red marks on the back wall was blood. It wouldn't be. It is only clay runoff. The strategic and geographical importance of Hill 121, and by extension, then the village of Monfalcone and the neighboring city of Trieste, is that Monfalcone and Trieste are located on the Gulf of Trieste, which is at the northern end of the Adriatic Sea, and provided a port for then the Austro-Hungarians and a geographical location for which the Allies and the Italians were prepared to fight. Only a guess on my part, but the hole in the concrete suggests from where the machine gunners operated, and given the breach or the opening within the trenches, this would be his line of fire. While the wooden planks and the sandbags are not original, the trenches have maintained enough of their character to give visitors some indication as to what conditions soldiers fought a century ago. I'm having a hard time gaining my footing when trying to traverse this one trench, albeit holding a camera with an attached microphone cord, but under machine gun fire and worse conditions than a day like today, hardly conceivable. It is eerie how the trenches snake through the forest ever so stealthily, and if it wasn't for the traffic in the background, admittedly, I would have no concept of which direction of which I'm facing. If only the concrete could talk, I wonder what tales it would have to say. I wonder also what Villa Boston would have meant to the soldier or soldiers who were serving in these trenches. This sign is awfully well preserved for being over a century old. If ever there was a misnomer as to entice visitors to come to a particular spot, this might be it. These wartime trenches and labyrinths are located in the Monfalcone Great War Adventure Park. Talk about choosing your own adventure. Fighting on Hill 121 lasted until 1917. Eventually, the victory by the Allies, including the Italians, allowed Trieste to revert from Austro-Hungarian control back to the Italians. This has been another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets. Long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. From Hill 121 along the Eastern Front near Monfalcone, Italy, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Proof indeed there are no atheists in foxholes.